or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Our interns here at Proview Sports Network get pretty competitive. Rivalries are real.
All day with you two, jeez.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's off Academy and in Nob Hill.
What do these interns even do on their break, man?
I don't even know. It's probably way too crazy.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
What do these interns even do on their break, man?
Wow. I'm sure you'll fix that. Hey, good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. Leroy Lucero, I almost got my name wrong, along with Michael Carlisle. How can you get your own name wrong, Mr. Carlisle?
Very carefully.
I guess, of 610 D Sports Animal fame. Hey, exciting news. Football season's finally here.
Yeah.
Yaffle games start in 2 weeks here on Proview Networks. I was talking with Adam Deal. They're going to start doing some of the previews of some of the high school teams here next week. So you get to look forward to that here on Proview Networks. Lobo football starts camp Thursday evening. Tonight, they get going. So who are we going to have as a special guest?
It's no doubt somebody to talk a lot of football. Maybe Rick Wright from the Journal, the football beat writer.
No, this is Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're going to have Jeff Grammer of the Albuquerque Journal talk about, well, I don't want to just talk about Lobo basketball, but also, you know, we still have the, is it still a dark cloud hanging over of all the other stuff? You mentioned KOAT had a story. So that dark cloud's still there. Are you still receiving phone calls and people talking about the no payment on the suites and all the other things?
Oh yeah, every day.
All right, so we're going to talk about that as well. We want to get Jeff on for a while now.
What sort of bubble do you live in that doesn't come up these days?
I'm with the other bubble on Fox News, Russia, Russia, Russia.
Oh, gotcha.
You got sweets or Krebs, I get. Well, you don't even talk about Krebs anymore, right? Because he's gone.
He's gone.
He retired.
He retired.
So
all on his own.
all on his very own, as we heard on 610 Sports
There you
Animal
go.
when you asked him 3 times in the same interview.
Grammer can confirm that.
Grammer
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
And we'll have him
We'll
on
ask
here in a
Jeff when
few
we have him
minutes.
on.
Also, we're going to talk, so we will talk some Lobo football. We'll talk some Lobo basketball. We'll talk some Lobo athletics, I guess, is what we would call it. And whatever else comes to mind. I saw in the Albuquerque Journal today, or was it the other day, that the Soul is looking at trying to find a new stadium, a soccer stadium. If we have time, we'll talk about why that's like 25 years too late, at least in my opinion. Also, Micah Frankel's going to be here, and in fact, we're going to throw to Micah here in a couple of seconds after we take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll have Jeff on, and we'll do some real talking. What do you think?
As opposed to the fake talking?
Fake talking is fake.
You are spending way too much time on Fox News, dude.
I know. You're no lie. We'll be back right after this on Red Menace TV.
He got away with one nonetheless.
He definitely created some contact.
Here we go. 2-1 game on. Sam Gleedle's going to finish it.
Check the replay and show you how it happened in just a moment. Here's Luke Lawrence.
Very nice PK.
So it's going to be Jack Clancy's going to take this. Domiciano's there too, but I don't think there's going to be a left-footed take. Clancy, yes! Jack Clancy.
Hey, I said it earlier in the broadcast, Adam. He loves to.
This is dangerous as Gleedle will leave it off. Pacheco, does he want to have one? A cutback. Pacheco's in trouble now as he tries to switch it. Here's a 1-2, and again it's Gleedle. Gleedle's going to try to bend one. Yes! How about it from Sam Gleedle? It's gorgeous on the inside of the foot, and he. Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
You know, we try to let all of our interns do everything here at Proview Sports Network. Sometimes it just doesn't pan out. Hey everybody, welcome to the Proview Rundown. I'm Adam Deal. What a big week in football, week 3. As you all know, cut. Come on, this Eagle, jeez.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
Welcome to the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. This is Caged Minds. I'm Micah Frankel, and this week my guest joining me all the way from Hawaii, we got Flavian Pilgrim, 2-0 as a professional. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
For everybody out there, remember to check out CagedMinds.com. We've got some great articles up now, including last weekend's results from UFC on Fox 25. Chris Weidman getting back in the win column, much needed for the former middleweight champion. We also have the LFA 17 results. The inaugural lightweight champion was crowned out there in North Carolina, and I spent my Saturday up in Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado for Rubicon 5. All the results, recaps, some photos up at CagedMinds.com, plus this week's newest edition of the Caged Minds Uncensored podcast. My guest this week was Wilfredo Santiago Jr. Now, this upcoming weekend, if you're an MMA fan, you know what I'm talking about. We've all been awaiting it. The UFC is in Anaheim, California, UFC 214. The main card gets kicked off with Donald Cerrone versus Robbie Lawler, and I bring that up because you were training with the Cowboy a good portion of this camp, right?
Yeah, good friend of mine. I'm excited. Can't wait.
What did you see out of Cowboy this camp?
I've seen real strategic, you know, real sticking to his game plan. He's got a good game plan. I'm just excited. It's gonna be fireworks. I believe it's gonna be second round head kick, knockout.
I'm anticipating. Fingers kind of crossed. We want to all see Cerrone win. I could be in anticipation that this could be fight of the year because that's the kind of aura around this one. But I was talking to Winklejohn and some other coach type figures, and they're like, that's all great, but none of us want to see fight of the year. None of us want to see fight of the year. And that's obviously the coach mentality. This fight was supposed to happen at the last pay-per-view. It got called off. We heard about some injuries from Cerrone. Can you give us any insight? How have you seen him? How has he looked like physically? Is he moving different? Does he seem just better over these last couple weeks?
Yeah, he just looked fine to me the whole time. I had no idea that he was sick. He's just a beast, you know. Just has fun and trains hard.
So didn't even put on any signs? He's not even letting you guys know that are close to him in camp?
No idea.
Then also, I know you're around the Jackson Wink Academy, and you saw John Jones in preparation.
Oh, man.
Tell us about your thoughts on the upcoming rematch. We're all behind John. I surely believe he's going to whoop DC once more, but give us your thoughts.
I think he's going to whoop him too. It's going to be a good fight. He looked like he's in a good place, you know. He looked like he was hungry, ready to fight, ready to put on a show. That's another one I'm excited to see.
I was there the day that he was putting his final touches on the last camp. A lot of us kind of around the cage, and it's just crazy to see a guy that was once pound for pound best taking his game to another level, having his focus up to it, and 2 years away, but I think it's kind of done him some good, it seems like, to mentally get where he needed to be, just like as a person.
Definitely.
And now he's focusing in training.
Definitely agree with you there. I think it's good. It's going to be a good show, a good fight for sure.
Now for you, Flavian, coming all the way from Hawaii, how did you end up in Albuquerque from Hawaii?
You know, I just want to be a bad man. I want to train with the best to be the best. You know, I want to be a champ on this, so I figured this is the spot I need to be.
Now we've talked about it, you hanging out with Cerrone. What does that influence, being up there, splitting your time between the Jackson Wing and the BMF Ranch? What has that been like for you?
It's been amazing. You know, I got to learn a lot about the game, a lot about finding the balance and having fun and training hard, and, you know, just finding that balance. That's very important, I believe. I have a lot of friends that just train, and don't really have any fun, and you kind of tell in their fights, you know, it's just kind of get burnt out, you know. It doesn't make sense to kind of get burnt out. Don't really have no off time. Their off time is sleeping. You gotta have fun, man. Life's short. You gotta have fun. Cowboys quote: "Live a life worth living." You know.
Has that been something that you've just picked up, or has that always been your motto?
It's always been my motto, but now I'm finding ways to adapt it into my camps and my career. You know.
Does that also somewhat come from, I know that you've had a competitive background in another field in surfing. Does that also come from that mentality? You can be competitive but have fun at the same time?
Got to, yeah. You always got to have fun, you know, life's short. And I believe balance is very important, very important.
Now, in this transition that you've had, what's been some of the best advice that you've received as a young athlete?
Train smart, you know, listen to your body. That's very important. Take time off when you need time off. Eat healthy, do it right, you know, don't half-ass it, sorry. You know, do it right. Eat good, train good, be smart about it. That's the main thing.
Do you feel that these are some pretty big insights for a fighter that's only had 2 professional fights right now? You see some guys that they get to a bigger level and they're still kind of learning some of these traits.
Right, I'm blessed. I've been around some of the greats, you know, taking their advice. I'm like a sponge, I just suck it all in.
Does it amaze you sometimes looking around who you're training with from you were watching them on TV before?
It does, it definitely does. I'm starting to get used to it, you know, but when I first got out here, it was definitely a shock. It's like, wow, these guys, I'm looking at them.
Hanging out with Cowboy Cerrone, you're ending up on all these Instagram posts. Do you see your social media going up? Is that also
slowly
stardom kind of been a surprise?
Slowly working on it, you know.
Now, also in that, do you see that the pro fighter, you have to market yourself?
Yes.
Tell us about what you've learned from these guys in that, making this a business.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm still learning that rope of the game. You know, it's hard, it's rough. You got to market yourself. Different ways of doing it, right ways of doing it, wrong ways of doing it. So I'm just trying to figure all that out. I haven't mastered it yet, you know, but it's gonna all play out here shortly.
And tell us about traveling and seeing the world between surfing and then even your mixed martial arts competitive action. You've seen a lot.
I have. Blessed, you know, life's good. Yes, it's a good, I'm enjoying the ride, that's for sure.
Where are some places that you've been?
I've been London, I've been all over Hawaii, I've been Indonesia, all around the US. I've been around, certain, you know, some places been good.
Have you been able to train in a lot of these places?
Not too much. I trained in the UK, Hawaii a lot, all over California. Traveled in New York, trained in New York a little bit. Not too much. I like to just go out and have fun, you know, travel. If I'm not fighting, I like to enjoy myself.
Well, when you've trained in these different places, is training kind of the same everywhere, or is there a different style to a different region?
I would say there's kind of different styles to different regions. You know, some places are a lot kickboxing heavy, jiu-jitsu heavy, Muay Thai. So it just really depends where you're at and the instructors, and that's about it.
And what about with what you're doing here and learning here has adapted to you and your fight style to make you as a complete martial artist?
It definitely has. This gym is the best in the world. You know, I got the best coaches from every aspect of the game. So, you know, it's good. It's a bright spot to be.
2-0 as a pro, and I believe 2 quick finishes, right?
2 finishes, definitely. 2 finishes.
What has that said about you as a fighter, what you've accomplished in these first 2 fights?
Yeah, I'm here at the right spot. This is where I need to be.
What do you do to continue that growth, and what are your goals here for the immediate future?
Just keep on training smart, surrounding myself around the best, and just keep on plugging away, trying to stay active.
I know that being from the islands, being from Hawaii, it's a big part of who you are, and also having that warrior spirit. So how does your heritage play into who you are?
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, we just love to fight. We grew up fighting. It's nothing new. Now we just get paid for it, not get arrested. It's awesome.
And what's your message then to the young kids back home, to the people that you're the role model for?
Right, just do it right. You know, you guys, there's so many gyms and stuff coming up, and just go to a gym and start training, do it properly. start at a young age, and by the time you're 18, 19, you can start making some money doing it instead of worrying about going to jail, boys home. Do it the right way.
The last fight you had was Killer Cam Fight Night out in London, England. The next one here is just a couple weeks away, returning home to Hawaii. You've been here traveling for a while. What does that mean to you, returning home, having the opportunity to perform in front of your people? What does that mean, and how big of a stage is that for you?
It's exciting. I love it. You know, I get to have all my friends out there supporting me. It's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait.
This weekend, you have some other great action coming up I want to tell you guys about before we just totally concentrate on UFC 214. You also, Friday night, there is Lion Fights Muay Thai action. The Art of 8 Limbs is going to be featured on Access TV. If you've never checked out a Muay Thai event, it's a lot of fun, right?
It's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's brutal sometimes, man.
Also, if you have a DVR, I suggest you watch UFC 214 on Saturday, but you can't forget that the Pro Fighters League is on NBC Sportsnet. They're in Everett, Washington. They have their second event. It's going to be their first full card where I believe they have 10 fights on this one. You have UFC 214, and then Sunday, if you have UFC Fight Pass or if you want to do your free preview of it, there's also EBI, and they're having the women. It's all grappling. You have 4-woman combat jiu-jitsu where open palm slaps are being used for the first time. Celine Haga from the Jackson Wink Academy is going to be involved in that one. And then Gabby Romero, who we've seen float around here in Albuquerque for a while, was at the Jackson Wink Academy, was at Latrell Yee, now representing Club Hollywood Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is in a 4-woman Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. So a lot of combat sports, a big weekend. Outside of MMA, which one is your favorite other combat sport to watch?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai?
Muay Thai.
Got to tell
Definitely.
people, if you haven't checked out Muay Thai, watch Lion Fights. You see high-level striking of that caliber. The way the engines and the machines on these guys are picking up feints and fakes, blocking, throwing, and then just the devastation of clean elbows is something else.
It's nasty. I love watching it. It's bloody for sure.
Is Muay Thai your preferred kind of striking style?
Striking? Yeah, I'm starting to pick it up a little bit. You know, definitely hanging out with Cowboy and the guys up there. They're really kind of Muay Thai heavy, so it's cool.
When you started, were you more boxing heavy?
Yeah, I was a little more boxing, grappling heavy.
What has that been like, rounding out your game?
Oh, I love it. I can see huge improvements. Huge improvements. Feeling comfortable in all aspects of the game now.
And then people got to know, it looks like a crazy atmosphere if you see it on social media. You got Cowboy Cerrone, kind of wild guy. Is it really that wild training up there at the ranch?
He's awesome, man. He's awesome.
Flavian Pilgrim, tell everybody how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, Instagram, Hawaiian Punch 155. Go ahead and check it out. Give it a look, give it a like. Much appreciated.
Thank you for joining me this week.
Thank you.
There'll be more Red Menace TV in just a moment.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school letter jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
The Barley Room, proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, talk to State Farm agent Michelle Rudolph or Marty Size in Albuquerque.
For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, the quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery.
Our interns here at Proview Sports Network get pretty competitive. Rivalries are real.
So with the big matchup between the El Dorado Eagles and the La Cueva Bears, time to make my pick here on the ProView Rundown. I'm going to go with the El Dorado Eagles. You know, I'm going to change my decision, and I'm going to go with the La Cueva Bears. They're feeling it. All right, hey, calm down. Guys, you do it every time. This is ridiculous. You know what? I'm going to be in makeup.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Hoops New Mexico Basketball Courts is coming to Albuquerque soon. 10 full basketball courts and a whole lot more. For more information, contact Dan Serrano at hoopsnm@aybl.com.
Sure, you could get him a new car. You could also light a pile of money on fire. So maintaining this old car is your best option. Keep it running longer, stronger, with quality parts and a whole lot of Napa know-how.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Hey, and welcome back to Red Menace TV here on ProView Networks. Like I said, football season is starting. Everything is getting geared up. But this is New Mexico, and so we brought in Jeff Grammer, the Lobo basketball beat writer, to talk Lobo hoops and Lobo athletics, because that's what you do when it's football season at UNM.
Makes sense to me.
Well, I think, Mike, do you agree? Am I wrong here?
No, for a lot of people, absolutely. It's always basketball season.
Yeah. Actually, the reality is we've been trying to get you. I've been trying to get you on, Jeff, for a while, but for whatever reason, you were out of town. This happened, that happened. or just, and then obviously we're shooting on a different day today. And then the other thing that happened is football season just kind of creeped up on us. But I did want to get you into, because there's been a lot of changes since the last time that we had you on the air. And not just with Lobo football, or I'm sorry, not just with Lobo basketball. New coach, basically getting rid of 99%. How many? What's the percentage of the bet? So better, almost half.
Yeah, I mean they had 12 returning players, so 6 returned, 6 left.
Yeah, so there you go. So half the bench and all the coaching. We've even had a new coach, assistant coaching change with the new coach. So I mean things are like really kind of crazy there. But then also the athletics portion with. What else? Investigations,
Investigations,
retirements
so far
of checking out on your own, as Michael Carlisle so eloquently put it. And Janice Ruggiero took over, and still more stuff coming out.
Yeah, it's obviously.
Where do you want to start?
Well, it's an interesting time. I mean, I can tell you that so far my summer has been mostly focused on the investigations going on with the athletic department. Not nearly as much of the Lobo basketball as I would like. It is my beat. As long as it's my beat, I want to make sure we're doing a good job on it. So I do want to do a little more Lobo basketball. The past couple weeks, I've been able to start stockpiling some stories. We do have, and I'll plug it. It's coming in about 2 weeks, but a 4-part series coming on Paul Weir and the changes he's making. 4 different, really distinct changes he's bringing to the program on the court. With the players' mindsets and some of the stuff they're doing. They're doing hot yoga, stuff like that, some meditation. The analytics he uses, he's kind of a new school coach in that regard. I know all coaches are starting to use analytics a little bit, but he really takes it to another level, the way he studies numbers and how players work well with each other on the floor at different times. And then the other thing is the fan engagement. He's really taking it on himself, not just to say we need fans back and come on fans, come back to the pit. He's going out. He's talking with the faculty senate. He's already spoken with staff council. Has his whole September, the 3rd week of when classes are in the 3rd week, he has a full schedule of talking to every fraternity house and every sorority house. He's doing things next week. He has an alumni event. He and Coach Bradbury, so it's women's basketball too, in the evening at the pit where he's bringing people in. He has said. This was before the suite situation has come up news-wise, but you said the suite holders and the high-dollar people, those are, you guys deal with that marketing department at UNM. I'm taking it on me to get the faculty and the students back. The campus comes back, that's on me. I'll take that on my shoulders. And he's trying. He's going around trying to get people back to the pit. So those are 4 things he's doing. He's going to change how they are on the court. He's changing the mindset of the players. He's changing how they approach things numbers-wise. They are hiring an intern, a student intern from the math department that's going to be focused entirely, I think it's like a 20-hour-a-week type of job. And it's 20 hours a week just breaking down advanced metrics and advanced analytics of basketball numbers that you can't get on sites like kenpom.com and all these sites. And then the other thing is the fan engagement. So those 4-part series that's coming up in a couple weeks.
So are you going to do a story on this analytics thing? Or
that's going to be one of the 4 stories.
Math, or how'd you do it?
I can do it. I'm a math guy. My mom's a banker. I was a math guy.
Oh, all right, cool.
So.
She was a banker. You should probably see if she wants to take a job here at UNM to try to collect the money for the suites.
She's done auditing. She's vice president of Bank Up in Santa Fe for many years, and she did the annual audits there.
So I saw a hashtag, Believe or Leave.
Yeah, so that's the T-shirts they got at the beginning of the summer. Believe or Leave. In June, when the June summer session started at the beginning of June, they were all given T-shirts that said Believe or Leave, and that's kind of their mantra. It's sort of the unfinished business of this year's team. When they had those
don't
T-shirts.
say that.
Every team likes putting these T-shirts out. It's a big thing in college athletics is you get a T-shirt with the saying on it. Theirs is Believe or Leave, and it's something he's really pushing. He's not holding it against anybody that wants to leave, and they're done with the leaving part. I believe. We'll see. I don't think anyone else is leaving at this point, but he wanted to make it clear to players like Damian Jefferson, Ahira Guak, and Jordan Hunter, who all 3 started. I guess Ahira Guak did not. But Jordan Hunter and Damian Jefferson both started the summer session and hadn't decided to leave yet in June. And those are the last 2 transfers. And frankly, he was okay with it. Not because he didn't want them to be a part of the team necessarily. His bigger issue was if they didn't want to be here, he wanted them gone now rather than them second guessing themselves in December or January and kind of just bringing the energy of the whole team down. And so that's kind of been his approach is you don't have to like all these weird things I'm doing. He's changing the furniture in the office. He has a standing desk. He has them thinking of inspirational quotes and listening to different kinds of music. He's doing all that kind of weird things, just trying to get them to think and look at things differently. And if you don't want to be a part of that, he's fine with that, but get out now. Don't stick around giving it a try and then bringing everyone else down in December when you decide this is just too weird. So that's kind of been his offseason so far, is he wanted to get the people out that weren't bought in. And the ones that are there right now, I can tell you, seem to be bought in. They're doing this hot yoga. They're loving it. They're buying into all this, all these inspirational quotes and stuff.
Do you jump in with the hot yoga?
No, I don't. I do not. Although I will say I was at their hot yoga class last week doing some interviews and just watching them. They can stay in that hot room all they want. I'll stay just walking around town and doing my hot yoga.
There you go. So what are your impressions of Coach Weir? Now, I know that you were familiar with him from his time at NMSU, but everything he's doing seems to be the polar opposite of what had been done here in the past. And I don't necessarily mean that as a knock on what was done in the past, but certainly a radical change. Is that what this program needed right now?
Yeah, a little bit. In fact, I just yesterday was having this conversation with him about, well, how much were you changing last year at NMSU in your first year when you were the guy hired to kind of keep continuity going? Were you kind of expected to keep things the same a little more? Now, he did some things differently there, too. He went to all the Greek houses there on campus trying to get students out. He did all that kind of stuff. So and they did yoga. They didn't do hot yoga, but they did yoga. So he was doing some of the changes there, too. But when he was hired here, it was to change the culture. Again, without the rehashing where the blame directly goes on that, it was pretty clear that the culture had to change here, and he was hired to do that. So he's been given a blank slate. He's been told, try whatever you want, try these new things. And so that's what he's really been focused on is getting them to buy in, and so far so good. Not really any eye rolling among the players and stuff like that when it comes to, hey guys, I want you to try this hot yoga, just trust me on this. And his point with that kind of stuff, and they do smoothies every morning, these nutritional smoothies. His point with that is what he's going to expect of them is from their bodies this year and how they're going to press, and they are going to press. That's another one of the stories I've talked to the guy he's kind of molding this after. And what he's going to expect from their bodies at this elevation is something that they weren't doing here in the past years, and they are not going to be tired at the end of games. If they are tired at the end of games, they're going to be losing a lot of games because the style they're playing can't happen with a tired team.
Jeff, what do you think? I mean, and I know you do social media quite a bit. It's at Jeff Grammer, correct?
It is.
Yes.
Jeff with the G, Gioff.
Yeah, Gioff, and Grammer misspelled.
Yeah, Grammer ER.
Yeah. So, but I'm just, if you haven't followed this guy, you absolutely should. But because he always gives us the taco race too. Big fan of the taco. We should have brought taco in. I don't know, we talked about that before. How do you think the fans have taken so far to where? I mean, and let me ask you that twofold too, because we've already had Mark Shue was here.
Yep.
The week that we tried to get him on the show, he was out of town. I think he was applying somewhere else at that point.
Come and gone.
Yeah. So all of a sudden there's a trade, but a guy that Lobo fans are familiar with, Brandon Mason, comes in. And has that been officially made yet? Still
it's not. And I will say, when I was there at the pit yesterday, I won't say I saw him because he's not there yet.
Right.
And I won't say his name's already on the office door because he's not officially there yet.
Right.
So I won't say any of that.
Yeah. Gotcha. But I mean, so from your perspective, how do you think the fans have reacted? You're talking about culture change.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a full culture change.
It is, and I do think that we're certainly in the honeymoon phase right now. He's kind of with this sort of, for the most part, can't do anything wrong. He tweets the other day that, I heard the backstory about this. He doesn't know the history of Cesar Chavez. He was walking by someone's desk. He asks a lot. He asks people like, well, what are you reading or what are you listening to? He's really trying to absorb a lot of what's going on around him, the people around the basketball program. He asked somebody something, Cesar Chavez came up. He's like, oh, the street. And he tweeted the other day, he said, I want my guys to learn who Cesar Chavez is, not just because they need to know it, but because it's a street we're on every day. It's kind of silly. He takes this approach. It's silly to be on a street every day that you don't even know the guy whose name it is. So he has up in their locker room now, they have this TV monitor with quotes that kind of scroll and like little history nuggets. He now added that to it, and he tweeted about that the other day. People just love that he's doing things like that. Well, if you're a losing team and you're doing stuff like that, people aren't going to love that kind of stuff. They're like, why aren't you focusing on basketball? So he's certainly still in the honeymoon phase right now with the fans. Everything he does seems to kind of make people happy and excited about the program. With the one exception of Canada, I do think that there were some, not many, but there were some fans that weren't happy that he was an assistant coach going in the middle of the summer when they're trying to fill a roster, and he was an assistant coach on Team Canada. Now, the experience was obviously great for the Canadian junior national team that won gold, its first gold in international men's basketball competition. It beat Team USA, coached by John Calipari from Kentucky. So other schools do have their coaches do the same thing. Kentucky did it. Their assistant was Tad Boyle, who's going to be playing UNM this year for University of Colorado. Pretty much that junior national team, nation or worldwide, is full of college coaches. So it's not just Paul Weir doing it. But there were some people upset with that. For the most part, though, it was received well here in town. Oh, what a great experience. Look what he's doing. He's the reason they won. So I think we're definitely in the honeymoon phase where he can kind of do no wrong in most people's eyes. That'll end quickly once the season starts. And then it'll be about how are they playing? You know, is it all just talk? Was he just saying they're going to run and now they're not, and now it doesn't look like they're playing with effort? There's going to have to be some proof in the pudding on the court once the season starts.
I mean, when you look at that, what he did with Canada, I would just say some rather not very intelligent fans, and I'll say that, I don't care. Because obviously that keeps that pipeline going to Canada. There's probably some pretty good players on that team, aren't there?
Well, there's one who's, depending on what service you look at, top 5 in next year's recruiting class.
So you probably want to, get to know those guys, right?
Absolutely. But it's not just that. If you look at, he's done this before, by the way. He did. He was an assistant coach. I want to say Puerto Rico. He's been an assistant coach before in some international competition, and it was just helping out. It wasn't that he was a citizen of that country. As an assistant coach, he was able to do that, and that sort of opened the door for some recruiting angles down the road. Not from that country, but from some other countries that he was exposed to those players, and it opened doors. So that's what this does. That's why they all do it. They won't say it, but that's what this does. It doesn't just open their eyes to how other coaches are coaching things. It essentially opens the door to all these international players. You're going to find a guy from some country that nobody was recruiting, but you say, wow, that guy does exactly what I want our 3 guy or our 4 guy to do on the floor. And kind of you talk to him after the game, introduce yourself, and the door's now open.
So, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, when Paul Weir came here, he obviously knew the tough road that was going to be ahead of him and was certainly prepared for the challenge. But I'm guessing he had no idea that within weeks after coming here, the AD was going to retire, there was going to be audits and investigations into the athletic department. Right. How much of that do you think he focuses on, and how much of that do you think he's just focused on the basketball team?
It's weird because I think in a small way that's why this honeymoon phase I think is extended, because nobody's putting any of this on Paul Weir, the new guy.
Right.
And there's going to be an AD that comes in that nobody's going to be blaming for what has happened here in the last several years. So in some respects, I think that's actually helped Paul Weir rebuild the excitement around his program, because he's the new guy. If Lobo fans don't like opening up the Journal and reading another story about financial mismanagement, they can look at the next column over where we have, look, Brandon Mason's back. They just signed a kid from Australia, or Chris McNeil, a feature last week that got a lot of response. People see that and almost latch onto it even more in July, because it is still July and it is basketball. I know we're in New Mexico, but these stories in July are getting some fans really excited, and I think it almost has a little bit of a byproduct of they're sick of hearing about all the new things coming out of the athletic department. Now, like it or not, we're getting a lot of response, as you guys are on the radio, to all that other stuff too. People do want to know what's happening with that. But I think because of all that going on, and there's no association in people's minds with Paul Weir and the basketball program, the current basketball program having anything to do with all that, they're just eating up everything he does because of it.
I like the way you segued that, because I was trying to think, how am I going to segue? And because my segue was a little different. My segue was, okay, 2 weeks ago, Mike and I were talking, and I said, when it comes to the athletic department, they need to just clean house on everything. They need to change the entire thing, get everyone that's currently there. Some of those guys I actually like too. I mean, I've been friends with, I've talked with them, I spoke with them. They have to get rid of all of them, just for optics sake, if nothing else, and just bring in a whole new fresh crew. kind of like what Paul Weir did with the basketball program. And you can answer or not. I don't care. It's
that's
up to you.
fine.
But I think they have to clean out everything. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's the push that's going to be coming from the Board of Regents, going to be coming from university president. Stuff like that is when they get a new AD in, it's going to be made very clear to the new AD, do what you need to do. And you do not have to keep anybody you don't want to keep. They're going to bring somebody in to set their own culture with that department over there. And it's going to be made very clear early on that nobody's job is safe, just like when a new coach comes in and he tells the players that, nobody's job is safe. You guys all have to earn it. A football coach, starting football season now, every year it seems like, this being the exception, I guess, with Lamar, but quarterback positions everywhere seem to be up for grabs. Even if you go into the season with the returning starter, they always like telling you, you're going to have to earn it. So that's where we're at with the athletic department right now. When they hire somebody, and I don't think it's going to be until probably about September until they hire somebody, but when that happens, I do think that you will see somebody come in and probably, if not force them out, you'll see a lot of people resigning for, to explore other options. Over the next 2 months, I think you might see some resignations because of that.
More retirements?
maybe more retirements.
Well, and there's also the universities, is looking for a president.
Yeah.
And it does look like they're going to hire the AD first.
Yeah.
What if the new president doesn't like the new AD, has different mindset, wants to bring in their own person, vice versa? To the best of your knowledge, how is the search going?
So the search for the AD is going well. There's still a lot of interest. I have spoke with the guy running the search, both at UNM, who is president of Board of Regents, Rob Doty. I've talked to him about it. I've also talked to Daniel Parker, the guy from the search firm who's running the search, and he contractually just can't really say a whole lot.
Sure.
That's how they run these things. I do get the sense from him that there's genuine interest. This isn't like the basketball thing where we were told there's all this interest and then they left out the caveat of, but once they find out how much money we're paying, these coaches are backing off. Yeah. I think there's genuine interest for this, and there's reason for that. A lot of associate ADs at schools, even at power conferences, that are ready to take that next step have a lot of interest in this level of a program. This isn't a Southland Conference school. This isn't a WAC school. This is still, for all the stuff going on right now, this is still one of the top Mountain West programs. That's a good stepping stone job. It's actually a good destination job for a lot of people because the university itself has so much going on with the law school, with obviously the billions of dollars that funnel through the medical programs and the cancer center. It's a big time program in a lot of ways that have nothing to do with athletics. So because of that, this is an attractive job. That said, you can't ignore the fact that as an AD or a candidate for the AD, you don't know who your boss is going to be.
Right.
You don't know who the president's going to be. You are stepping into a place where there are 2 ongoing investigations that you don't know what the ramifications of that are going to be. What if, worst case scenario, this audit shows that stuff had been going on for years, that they're going to be expected to for the next 10 years pay money back to something that we don't know about. And you're stepping into a job that you know right off the bat is going to have kind of like loss of scholarships, like a football or basketball coach might have to face when they take over a job. What if you're an athletic director stepping into a program that's essentially going to have the equivalent of loss of scholarships for the next 5 years, and you're going to be handcuffed a little bit with what you want to do because of the finances. So that's why the uncertainty does sort of hurt the job. But I do know, and I've heard of some of the names that have started to surface a little bit, and there are some high-ranking, not athletic directors, but associate athletic directors or deputy, the number 2 guy or woman at different Power 5 conference places that are interested in this job because it is that next step for a lot of them.
Alden, why don't we go ahead and take a quick break? We'll come back with Jeff Grammer, talk a little bit more about Lobo Athletics here on Red Menace TV.
Our interns here at Proview Sports Network get pretty competitive. Rivalries are real.
All day with you two, jeez.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's off Academy and in Nob Hill.
What do these interns even do on their break, man?
I don't even know. It's probably way too crazy.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico High School athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
You know, we try to let all of our interns do everything here at Proview Sports Network. Sometimes it just doesn't pan out. Hey everybody, welcome to the Proview Rundown. I'm Adam Deal. What a big week in football, week 3. As you all know, cut. Come on, this Eagle, jeez.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
All right, welcome back to Red Menace TV here, final segment with Jeff Grammer. We're still talking little Lobo athletics. So we haven't talked to you through all of this. I think the last time we had you was before Paul resigned. Paul Krebs, that is.
Retired, all on his own.
Dang it, thank you, sorry.
Had nothing to do with any.
I keep forgetting.
I wouldn't call them investigations. Well, okay.
Were you invited to the party?
I was not invited to the party.
Were you invited to the party?
Were you hiding in the bushes at the party?
Were you hiding in the bushes?
I will say on this, my take on the retirement party.
Yeah.
Horrible timing, horrible location. The day after Larry Barker's story came out, the day other people were reporting on Pit Suites to have a retirement party in the Pit Suites. But he deserves a retirement party. I don't think he doesn't deserve a retirement party.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Optics. The optics are bad.
Go to a nice restaurant somewhere or whatever. No, he absolutely
Go to
deserves.
Wise Pies.
Yeah. And he's still here.
Yeah, go to
He hasn't moved. He's still here.
Yeah.
Just put it off a week.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I just think it was It was just a bad timing situation on the part.
But the Journal didn't go to the retirement party. We didn't have a photographer.
You didn't have like
we
a
weren't
secret,
hiding. No photographer was there. Nothing like that.
No secret, like we'll put this in your lapel pin. And
no, I can tell you that.
Someone's looking like this, and everyone, hi, how are you?
We didn't do that. That day we were working. Jessica Dyer and I were working on actually calling people on that list of suite holders, and some interesting stuff came out of that. I mean, some of the big donors of UNM athletics were coming out and saying, look, UNM kind of messed up on this one. We don't owe that money, and they explained why.
So I mean, your thoughts? How did that happen?
I think for years, well, first of all, yes, I think some of it probably fall under at least a gray area of let's help this person out. We knew about it. It's hard for me to believe that they totally forgot about $400,000 to collect in an era where they were having budget deficits. Mm-hmm. So I do think they knew about it. Whether or not they were being told specifically to write it off or to forgive a debt or something like that, I don't know. But it is interesting that since the state auditor started his special audit, that things that have come up since that started, UNM has said, oh, look what we discovered. Well, they didn't really discover all this. It's when the state auditor got in there and had somebody looking over their shoulder saying, what's this? And that's when UNM says it discovered that they still had $400,000 in uncollected pit suites. That's when it was discovered that UNM never paid HSC for health care for their student athletes. And I can tell you that they did not sign their new agreement until July. And the student athletes at UNM were not being covered for the first couple weeks of July. They would have been fine if they had to get an MRI or something. But HSC wanted its money from 2 years ago. UNM didn't pay the $260,000 it owed athletics. I mean, didn't pay the hospital the $260,000 it owed. So these things are coming up since the auditor's been in there. But it's still sort of being portrayed in a way by UNM that they're discovering it themselves. Well, they could have discovered it years ago if they wanted to, but they happen to be discovering it because light is being shined by these investigations.
And you can probably speak to this a lot better than I can, but with the suites, it looks like there might be a few different things going on. Like some of it bad bookkeeping, like the case of Kenny Thomas says he never had a suite that year. He never signed anything. Then there's others. I know Channel 7 last night had a story about people not even paying the deposits. So maybe it's not all, hey, we'll just give you a suite until we can sell it or whatever. There might be a few different things going on.
There are a few different things going on, I believe. And one of them, I talked with a big donor for baseball and men's golf, Nestor Romero, who says he paid Lobo Sports Property in 2014 a bunch of money that he thought was for his suite debt from the pit from years ago. And now he's kind of wondering, well, wait, what did I pay them for? If it wasn't for that, then tell me what I just gave you that money for. So there's some people that say they have paid and are still on this list, and they want to know why. There's other people who said, we've never been paid. Jack Fortner, who a former president of the Board of Regents, says, all that goes through the accounting department at my law firm, at his law firm in Farmington. He said, I never see it. So this is the first I've heard about it. That's how some of these people that say, well, how did they not know they owed the money? Well, a lot of it goes through their business's accounting firm, and they actually don't know about it. They're genuine with that. Their accounting department probably should have known about it. But these people say they weren't billed, so they didn't know about it. There's also people like Steve Chavez, who basically says, why was I paying for a suite when my $1 million a year was going to the Wise Pies name? And there was an agreement or an understanding that the suite was free for that. So there's different areas of confusion here, but the overwhelming theme is confusion of some sort, whether it be bookkeeping errors or just maybe something maybe a little more nefarious going on where there might have been deals that probably weren't right that were going on. That's what's kind of coming out now.
So I'm sorry, we're running out of time. Go ahead. We're running out of time. I just want to ask you real quick, because we only got a couple minutes left. Look into your Jeff Grammer crystal ball. You can too, Michael Carla. You can look into his crystal ball if you want. What do you see in the future? What do you see in the near future with all this?
For the department?
Yeah.
I don't think it won't get to the point where I don't think criminal charges will ever come. That is still something that the Attorney General is looking at. I don't think it'll ever come to the point where there's criminal charges. Let's look at the Cody Hopkins case from a year ago where UNM itself accused somebody of a crime, Cody Hopkins, of embezzling and defrauding the university of money. That hasn't even been presented to a grand jury because there's no evidence of that. Now, there's actually an Attorney General who is investigating crime, not just maybe financial malpractice, but actual crimes. I don't think it'll come to that, but I do think there will be a lot of jobs changing in that athletic department in the next 6 months or so. Long term, I think it could all be very healthy, though, for that department.
Mike, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I'm with you on that. If you're a Lobo fan and you're bothered by the investigations, all the attention, you shouldn't be, because like Jeff said, ultimately this will come out to the good for the athletic department. I think they'll probably take some lumps. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a high turnover in the athletic department, but at the end of the day, if everything's running the way it should and the money's going where it could, if you're a donor, you can trust when you make a donation, it's going where it should. And at the end of the day, I think that's a positive.
Yeah, I mean, I've said from the very beginning, this is a land of, I think there was a lot of shortcuts of some movidas. I don't think it was someone stealing. I just think they were just, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And eventually, both of them came to say, hey, where's our money? And I think just things happen. But hey, Jeff, thank you for being part of today's show. Next week, we'll have some stuff for Lobo football. We'll get out and get some video for y'all and probably some interviews. Until next week, for Michael Carlisle and Jeff Grammer, I'm Leroy Lucero. We'll see you next week. God bless you all.